I didn't see that coming. Okay, we're recording now, so please, Neil Med, present yourselves. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jim Barrett, and I am from Northeast Ohio Medical University. And I head up our admission efforts and have a direct report of financial aid. So I constitute most things new student enrollment. It is fantastic to see so many familiar faces from the Pathways to Practice program that we've worked with across the years. And I can't wait to meet more folks from the region's community colleges. This will be a fantastic set of contacts to make. My colleague is Jill Thompson, and Jill, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I echo Jim's comments. It is nice to see some familiar faces. My name's Jill Thompson. I serve as the Assistant Director of Admission at NeoMed. I get to work very closely with Jim, and I work with the College of Medicine. So hopefully, I will be one of your first levels of contact if you have any questions or if there's anything that we can do to help you navigate this process.
Excellent. Janice, why don't we do a quick introduction for anyone there from your team at Tri-C?
I'm the only representative. Hello, everyone. My name is Janice Snyder. I'm the Associate Dean of Natural Sciences and Math here at the Metropolitan Campus at Tri-C. So I'm very close down the way from CSU and very happy to be part of this partnership. And I hope that we have some students that are on this call that'll be interested in hearing about this.
A work call.
Thank you, Janice. Aaron, are you by yourself today from Lakeland, or anyone else there with you?
No, Levi's here as well. So I'm Erin Fakit. I am the Dean for Arts and Sciences at Lakeland Community College. And Levi Rex is also on the call. He is a marketing specialist for Lakeland. And we're really excited to be part of this partnership as well.
All right. All right, Lorain County. I see you, Lori. Who's there with you today?
Hi there. One of my coworkers, Shelley Beard, is also on the call. I'm Lori Sertman. I'm a career specialist. I work with the Arts and Humanities Pathway, as well as the Mandel program that we have here. And I'm also covering for Health and Human Services and Psychology. So multiple hats, but I'm happy to be here today. And Shelley, I don't know if you want to hop in and do an introduction.
Hi, I'm Shelley. I'm with the Mandel program, and I work with students in the humanities, English, art, and communication. I just wanted to learn more about the program. Thanks.
Well, thank you. Welcome, everyone, from your various community colleges. And we wanted to build this community college pathway specifically to bolster up the number of undergraduate students coming into Cleveland State who might have an interest in medical school. And it's a lot of work to coordinate three schools. So I thank you for your patience, number one. But number two, we're busy signing on a multitude of medical schools on the back end. So we're going to need your support. We're going to need your students. We're going to need your volume. Okay. So we've been in partnership with NeoMed since 2012. And unfortunately, Dr. Renee Prater from Duquesne, who is the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, at the last minute got pulled away, so she will not be able to present. So NeoMed will be the star of the day today. We also have an agreement with the Maryland College of Osteopathic Medicine at Morgan State University, which will be opening up in 2026. Last year, I want to mention we're in conversations with LECOM, for an articulation agreement with them as well. They call it an early acceptance program. So we have a lot of exciting things going on here. But today we'll hear a lot about NeoMed and early assurance and what that means. And if you have any questions, guys, feel free to put it in a chat box and we'll address it once the NeoMed team is done presenting. So with that being said, Jim, I guess I need to share my screen with you, right?
I think so. And then I'll see if I can't share some slides and some
Okay, I just made that happen. And next time, don't put me in charge, guys. I mean, I'm just not the guy for this, okay?
I think you're being quite modest, and everything's going pretty well from my perspective. Hey, can everybody see my screen okay? There should be some PowerPoint slides. Heads nodded. Fantastic. All right.
Yes, we see it.
We're not going to do a death by PowerPoint, but we do have kind of a level set. So if our friends at Cleveland State feel like taking a nap because you've seen this before, you certainly have my permission. And Shermel, anytime you want to bring that little one on the cameras is fine with me. I have done many Zoom meetings like that myself.
Thank you for
Um, I,
that. Thank you.
the one thing I can share is this. I'm really glad that Dr. McKnight talked about the potentiality of other partners. I think that's great. This is an endeavor that really takes a team. If we want to go ahead and meet the challenges in the healthcare workforce. So we're delighted at all the efforts that Cleveland State and the Pathways to Practice program has made with some of the DO options and perhaps LECOM to come. I think finding students the right fit is always paramount. And we certainly have some great options, and I'm here to tell you about one today. The one thing I do want to mention by way of a level set is that medical education is a long tunnel. And it is certainly kind of a four-quarter game, so to speak. And most of our program is really designed around these philosophies. So let me touch upon them. There's the all-important pre-med phase, and that's certainly what the community college and CSU team up to deliver. So, it can begin with College Credit Plus, it can begin with AP coursework, but what you're really talking about is that set of foundational educational experiences, certainly heavy in the sciences, regardless of what academic program that students may want to choose, but also very much inclusive of things like, an MCAT prep, experiences and activities that are involved as well. As we kind of move on from that, what we take a look at in medical school, we really have a bifurcated student experience. The first 2 years of medical school, we refer to as the pre-clerkship education. This is kind of what many students think of when they hear about medical school. It's a little bit of a grind. It's the first 2 years of foundational science courses, simulated patient experiences, leading up to a pretty major a United States medical licensing exam called the Step 1 exam. Med Ed is in some ways it's really similar to undergraduate education, and in other ways it is kind of its unique entity. In one way that there's a manifestation is that standardized testing remains paramount. There's no optional testing. Physicians like Dr. McKnight and others, move on through their careers, taking boards, taking exams, and having that, that foundation is something that remains core to med ed. So once students at NeoMed or any other med school would kind of get, master their pre-clerkship education, they go into the clerkship roles. And those are the student doctor experiences. That's what all the dramas get made of, made out of. I'll show my age and say, ER, Dr. Noah Drake is the med student. And, I guess it's now Grey's Anatomy. And then after education takes place with the clerkship experiences in the third and fourth year, that's when our students graduate from med school and move on to residency match. And really the goal of all of us working together is to get to those individuals to a fantastic residency match that is really intentional and kind of propels a young physician into the 38 and 40-year career that is so important. So we all play a role here, the community colleges in Cleveland State in this area, NeoMed and Duquesne and LECOM and other institutions in this area. And our goal is all to get to our physicians to residency education. Don't worry, I won't spend that much time on every slide. For those of you who may not be all that familiar with Neomed, let me just show you a quick graphic. We're out here in Portage County. Now, when I was a young man and I was a kid, before that, growing up in Euclid, Ohio, I will tell you I considered anything south of I-480 to basically may as well have been Cincinnati. So it can seem like a long way away to some of your students. Trust me, it's not. If anybody's ever traveled east-west on I-76 and on 44, you've seen this, large monstrosity sprouting out of the cornfields that were once here. That is Neomed. So our nearest area is Kent, Ohio, the home of Kent State University. We're really only about 10 minutes away from there, 20 minutes from Akron on a freeway, and maybe 30 minutes from that 480-271 split that I think is kind of in the Woodmere area. And then, as you can see, an hour from Cleveland State. So we are very, very close in proximity. So what do we do here at Neomed? Well, we certainly have a medical school, and we celebrated our 50th anniversary not long ago at all. So just last year in 2023, we turned 50 years old. We were founded in 1973 as something called Neo-UCOM, and some old timers may hear that phrase thrown about. But we went independent in about 2008, and we're one of Ohio's 14 independent state universities. We're here to talk primarily about early assurance network and a continuum of learning for the MD program. But I do very much want to share that we offer a Doctor of Pharmacy program manifested through a PharmD. We have started a College of Dentistry and have been working very hard. We have over 1,000 applicants looking to join our inaugural class in 2025, and we're well into interviews. We have some other programs that really assist with medical student preparation, but also really raising the level of research and health education in our region. So we have a Master of Medical Science in Anesthesia. It's kind of interesting. 2 out of 12 of those programs nationally are in Northeast Ohio between Neomed and Case Western. That is a fantastic physician assistant program. We offer an MPH in this region. We also have, not listed here, a PhD in basic and translational biomedicine. So, pushing 1,200 students here. We are an academic health center, and that is all we do here at this point in time at Neomed. Pleased to report a little over 10% of all practicing physicians in Ohio at this point in time are Neomed alumni. And so we are having a significant impact on the health and wellness of Northeast Ohio. Taking a little bit of a look now at where we're going and kind of our profile, this may seem a little bit like I'm spending time being a little bit, bragging, or I don't know what the right word is, and I don't mean to. It's really just kind of show where Neomed has kind of grown up into. Our 2024 profile of candidates who are accepted, this gives you an indication of what is pulled from what's called the MSAR, the Medical Student Admission Report. The MSAR is really what students kind of use to look at what med schools they might be choosing. But the 2024 edition really shows our median MCAT at a 5.10, our median GPA at a 3.8. And when you take a look at our projected profile that we're looking at as we kind of build our regular decision class, so what most people think of as applying to medical school this past year was at a 5.15. So we are moving toward about a 5.12, 5.13, 5.14 of the students we tend to accept from regular decision. And that's kind of where Neomed sits. If we were kind of comparing this to some schools that might have a more well-known brand name, you can take a look and see that at UCLA, the Geffen School is about a 3.88, 5.14. University of Maryland's a 514-388. The Cooper School at Rowan in New Jersey, 514-388. And Thomas Jefferson, very well-known large school in Philadelphia, is a 3.8514. So we are kind of moving in that direction, and lots of exciting things happening down here. What do we offer? Well, we offer a couple, I think, facets that really distinguish Neomed in terms of the experience that students can get. The first is a very engaged learning model. And so what we're offering are kind of a back to the future approach. Most of our classes meet in person in a very, large environment, in a fantastically equipped interactive classroom. The curriculum and the educational modality consists of a flipped classroom model, a lot of preparation ahead of time that's paired with very concise lectures, a lot of those clicker quizzes, and then really mixes in the case-based learning and the problem-based learning, and with a dash of peer instruction. So a very engaged learning model, which kind of is designed to mimic how physicians will learn throughout the course of their careers. And again, that is either a student's cup of tea, or if somebody just wants to watch a bunch of videos and learn on their own, may not be the best fit for those students. One of the things that I think we have that is really strong is our clerkship training network. I'm going to show you a few of the hospital and clinical systems that we work with across Northeast Ohio. It's a little bit of a who's who in many ways. We have a fantastic alumni network, as I kind of shared, and they do get involved in mentorship. We have this really wonderful program called Neomed Connect, where our current students can reach out to alumni and match up by specialty area of practice or where they're employed or other areas, and go ahead and have some professional development experiences and networking opportunities. And then last but not least, we do pretty well on residency match rates, as is a necessity in this day and age. This past year, we were at 98%, year before 100%, year before 98%. So that is really something that is paramount on our mind. The average medical school student leaves medical school now with nearly $200,000 in debt. It's akin to buying a mortgage. That works really well if you practice and you have return on investment. That does not work so well for individuals that do not have the ability to practice. So we really focus on student success at a very, very high level. Where do our students rotate through in Northeast Ohio? We have clerkship rotations at the Cleveland Medical Center, at University Circle. So Neomed students have core rotations there with Case Western students. We also have students pursuing their clerkship opportunities at Metro Health, Cleveland Clinic Fairview, Cleveland Clinic Akron. And then we have a great presence in Akron, Ohio with Summa Health, Akron Children's. In Canton, we work with Mercy Hospital there, and we also work with Altman Hospital. In Youngstown, Ohio, our students will rotate through St. Elizabeth's, both downtown and in Boardman. And then also students have the ability to do some clerkship rotations through the Salem Community Health Center. So, the point I'm trying to leave you with, as far as the takeaway, is that our students are out in the community as third years. They are learning under a wide network of physicians. They are adapting and engaging with different organizational cultures. And they're really finding out what it's like perhaps to rotate through the health offerings of, say, a Metro Health on I-77, and also a Salem Community Hospital in a smaller town in a more rural setting of Ohio. So those types of patient-facing experiences, I think, really distinguish what a Neomed student has the opportunity to enjoy. And this is just kind of a graphic of where we go that I spoke through, and I shouldn't leave out the VA as well. Okay, so who enrolls at Neomed? We are very much Northeast Ohio's Ohio school when we look at the offerings. So anywhere from about 70 to 80% of our students are from Ohio and Ohio residents. And a large reason why that occurs is through our early assurance programming. We have early assurance through a network of 9 schools, and we've been working with the folks at Cleveland State for quite some time. And we're very excited about the potentiality of students also joining us through the community colleges into Cleveland State. So about a quarter of our students, or a little more, will have come from our early assurance network and will continue to do so. I am not going to spend a whole lot of time going into the significant details, although I have them to draw upon if necessary. But I thought more from the standpoint of this introduction and a little bit of Q&A. Let's speak in broader terms for our time together. What is early assurance? Early assurance is not a guaranteed seat in med school. It is not a promised seat in med school. It is really a reserved seat in medical school. And so what we're looking at is holding a seat for students, and then students have the ability to reach certain thresholds in order to have that, claim that seat, if you will. So we work with 9 schools across Northeast Ohio to really have that footprint and really make an impact, giving students from Northeast Ohio an opportunity to join us. However, Cleveland State will be unique in the sense that they're really working closely with the community colleges and having a very coherent and deliberate continuum of learning that is designed to curate these students through Cleveland State. And so what is kind of exciting is that the undergraduate institutions nominate students for early assurance. We don't go to them and tell them who to send us. They send us the students. Now, certainly our admission folks will interview those candidates and see if they also believe they're a good fit for an MD program. And it's a collaborative effort. But the golden ticket, or the pathway, so to speak, comes exclusively through the Pathways to Practice team that you've been working with and who are joining us here today. So essentially, this team has the green light to work with you to identify students from undergraduate and community college institutions and tell them or tell us about them. And so we will work in partnership with them, just exactly how the medical education path is kind of a 4-quarter game. We're going to work closely with the Pathways to Practice folks through that part of the process. All right, we do have some really good information, of course, available on the website and a catalog. I can share the standards that we have for early assurance if we want to get into a deep dive, and certainly not being evasive in that regard. But I also really kind of believe that our time is really well spent here introducing you a little bit more to Neomed. And so before we get to the Q&A and for me to stop talking a little bit, I want to see if this works. You may be familiar with what's called White Coat Day. White Coat is a special day in any health professional student's life. It's the day that they attend a convocation that is extremely special. They get their first white coat that they've received that gets them, ready to get out in their preclinical workshop, their preclinical work and rotations. And I just wanted, if I could, to maybe share a less than 2-minute overview with you. And we're proud that this features one of Cleveland State's finest in Mr. Jonas St. Flower. And I hope this works out. If I do this right, away we go.
We really are challenged today to provide good health care for people around the world. We need leaders to help solve these problems.
This is the first step to turning out nearly 200 more physicians who will serve our communities as mentors of the next generation of healthcare workers.
My primary job was flying F-18s. I got hurt in the aircraft and doctors helped put me back together. They provided the spark that gave me the passion to pursue medicine.
These young students are starting off on their careers, a career in medicine, where the lives and well-being of those that will be entrusted to them is going to be placed in their hands.
I'm really excited to be here and, start my new journey to become